Hello and welcome back to the GB Fantasy Football channel. In today's video, we will be recapping the Premier League fixtures so far in Game Week 13, having a look at my team and how it's fared up in the first part of the game week, and also looking at those leaderboards in my league, seeing who scored the most points this week and who scored the most points overall. Now, the target on the channel is 1,500 subscribers. We are rating there after every video. Can't thank you all enough for the support on the channel. It's been really, really nice to see. Warms the heart. Now, without further ado, let's crack on with the video. As mentioned in the introduction, we are rapidly approaching 1,500 subscribers on the channel, and I really do thank you all for the support. It's greatly appreciated. As with all Sun Dream Team videos on the channel, 100 likes is the total and the goal. Pushes the content out, and it really does help out. Now, the first game on today's list is Manchester City against Leeds. 3-2, surprisingly, where many thought Man City would probably keep a clean sheet in this one. For Leeds, of course, they're not in Europe, so they won't be the teams that we're looking at today. Manchester City, on the other hand, very much so. Donnarumma, 3 points in this one. Of course, the entire back line didn't keep a clean sheet, but he is now on 4 bookings in the Premier League. Even though he started late and Trafford played the first few games, that is definitely something to note for those of you who might want to bring him in. Nunez with the assist and a booking 4 pointer. Diaz, off the back of his 9 point goal against Newcastle, I believe it was, 1 pointer. O'Reilly, once again, an assist, picking up a tackle as well. Just a really good asset. I really wish he was a defensive player on this game. 9 pointer for him. Gavardio picking up the goal. Throw back to last season where he's getting those attacking returns rather than playing at left centre half. 7 points and a booking for him. Bernardo Silva, blank pretty much. Nico Gonzalez, blank pretty much with those 3 points. Star of the show though for many of you, Phil Foden, 18 pointer. I brought him in last week for my substitution chip. 4 points over 2 fixtures in that one. This week, an 18 pointer. And that is the thing with Phil Foden. 1 week, 20 points. Next week, 3 or 4 points. Unfortunately, I missed out, but many of you would have been fortunate enough to pick up them. And specifically on a goal boost week as well. Leave a comment down below on how your week is going so far, of course. Erling Haaland, just a 3 pointer, didn't score in the first fixture this week. Many of us would have captained him. But did you have other players in your team for the first part of Game Week 13 that have boosted that goal bonus? Bonus? Goal bonus into a really good position for you. Jeremy Doku got bumped up overnight to 8 ppm, 3 bonus points, and 8 points overall. Tijani Reinders with a 6 pointer as well. Cherky with an assist off the bench. So Man City scoring well and looking good going forward. Defensively, still leaving a bit to be desired. Everton won, Newcastle 4 in a very surprising result this week. Of course, Everton's home form at their new ground has been a very solid start there. Newcastle United poor away from home the majority of this season so far. St James's Park, very much a safe haven. On the travels, not so much, but this one played exactly the opposite as we'd have expected it to. Iliman Ndiaye with 5 points for Everton. Dewsbury, a player that I had at the start of the season, 10 points. He took his goal really well, but Everton, once again, not a European side. Newcastle, on the other hand, really looked good in this one. Aaron Ramsdale started in goal for the first time. Nick Pope is still out with an injury. Eddie Howe's come out in his press conference today. He's not really given us too much information. He said he's going to go for a scan. But Aaron Ramsdale is 3 million in goal, so might become an option. Lewis Hall started at left back. Bonus points galore once again. 3 bonus points for him. 11 points overall. Dan Burn picking up an assist, coming in at left centre half in this game after his suspension. Livramento, 4 points. And the man of the moment, Malik Chow, was in my team for the majority of the season. Took him out a couple of weeks back, and he's got on the end of a couple of crosses, banged his headers into the back of the net, and ended up with a 16 pointer even without a clean sheet. So really, really good return. Joelinton, Guimaraes, and Lewis Marley in midfield. 2 points for Joelinton, 4 points for Bruno, just shy of those 3 bonus points overall. And Lewis Marley with a goal and an assist. I wouldn't expect him to continue in that Newcastle midfield three. Of course, players like Tonali will come back into that midfield, but when he plays for Newcastle, he normally does quite well. Voltemada with a 10 pointer, getting a goal. I know quite a few of you took him out this week, got fed up with his missing antics, especially against Manchester City a couple of weeks back. Took his goal really well. Ball over the top, chipped Pickford, and looked good again. Harvey Barnes out on the left, didn't follow up on his heroics from midweek. It's 3-pointer for him. And 8 points for Alang. I believe that's his first goal contribution for his new club. He looked pretty decent. Of course, it was poor defending for that assist that allowed, I think it was Voltemarder's goal. But Newcastle showing they are very much there this season. The home form will carry them across the majority of the campaign. If they can pick up a few away wins on the road, they're very much going to be up there when the season finishes. Not towards the top, but fighting it out for those European positions. But Lewis Hall, Malik Chow, and Voltemarder, definite standout performers for Newcastle. Also, Aaron Ramsdale, one to watch. Maybe this time, this segment will actually record. This is the third time I've done this Tottenham Fulham segment, so let's try again. Tottenham 1, Fulham 2. A very not great result for Tottenham by any stretch of the imagination, but if you look at their home form throughout 2025, it's certainly not an upset. Only 3 victories at home throughout the entirety of the calendar year so far, I believe. Fulham 2-0 up after 6 minutes in this one. Kudos got the goal back for Tottenham, but lots more defensive mistakes at the back. Vicario getting booed by his home fans for every touch of the ball. He was at fault for the second goal of Harry Wilson's, didn't even bother running back. Udogie with a 0 point at Van der Ven. Bar his heroics away to Everton several game weeks back now. He's scored really lowly. Pedro Porro, 3 bonus points, 6 points overall. A little throwback to last season for him. Danto, bonus point, 3 points overall. Came in for the suspended Romero. Paulinho, just shy of 3 bonus points, 3 points for him. Archie Gray, 3 points and a bonus point. And Bergvall with 7 points in that midfield. Mohamed Kudus, 9 pointer for him. Not picking up the bonus points like he was at the start of the campaign. Richarlison taking off bang on 60 minutes, which was a surprise after his recent goal scoring antics. 2 points for him. And Kolo Muani back off his performance against PSG with 2 goals and an assist. Just the 1 point in this one for him, getting a booking. Nothing to say off the bench for Tottenham either. They're in a really, really poor vein of form. Can they turn it around? Can they become options again? More than likely. Would I be going near any Tottenham player currently with the manager under pressure, their results not good? Not at all. And even if they had 2 promoted teams like Leeds and Burnley at home in the next game week, I still won't go there because their home form is so poor. So you're banking on away fixtures, and that's not something you should do in some dream team normally. Aston Villa 1, Wolves 0 in what was a very fortuitous clean sheet for Aston Villa. They looked like the better side throughout, but Strand Larsen, I believe it was, had a goal disallowed, similar to what Van Dijk's was a few weeks back away to Manchester City, interfering with Martinez's eye line. I don't think it should have been disallowed, but I didn't think Van Dijk should have at the time. Nothing to note on Wolves at all. They're really, really poor this season, so I won't be going there at all. For Aston Villa, on the other hand, picked up a clean sheet, picked up yet another victory, and they are into even more form this season. Started off slowly, of course, didn't score in the first 4 games. Matty Cash scored in the 5th one. But since then, flying form-wise. And when Arsenal go there at the weekend, it's going to be an incredibly difficult game. Martinez in goal with a 9-pointer. Ezra Konsa, 9 points. Picked up a bonus point, picked up a tackle point, and of course, the clean sheet. Luka Dean, 3 bonus points for him, 10 points overall. Pau Torres with an 8-pointer and a bonus point to his name. And Matty Cash completing the back line for 9 points. Villa ticking along quite nicely defensively. It's just the rotation in the Europa League that's pretty disappointing when you own their players. Boubacar Kamara with an 11-pointer, fantastically taken goal. Slammed it into the top corner from a John McGinn pass from out wide. 3 bonus points for him and an assist. Morgan Rogers, the man that most of us would have brought in this week. Well, I say most, quite a few of us would have brought in this week for that price rise after his really good form last week, picking up a couple of goals and an assist in game week 12. Just a 3-pointer for him, and that included a very late shot on target, so he was on course for a complete blank. Youri Tielemans back into that Villa midfield, only 75 minutes, but if he can continue that form and stay injury free, last season he was a really good asset to own, and hopefully he can become that once again. Emi Buendia off prior to 60 minutes, I won't go there at all for him, even for his price. Daniel Marlin started this game up front. Ollie Watkins on the bench. So despite starting the season at 5.5 million, only scoring once so far this season, Watkins, hopefully his price starts to plummet. Maybe if he picks up some form towards the second half of the season, he can become a player that many of us look at in our teams. But for Villa, Defensive wise, solid once again. Attacking, a little bit disappointing with the goal contributions coming from players that not many of us own. Nottingham Forest 0, Brighton 2. In a fixture that not many of us would have seen a Brighton win coming in. Forest recently been very good defensively. I think they went about 300 or 400 minutes without conceding in the league. Not on this game, unfortunately, for many of us that do own their players. Murillo, there was a little thing on the Forest defensive line before the Gameweek 13 deadline. They'd flagged Nico Williams, but it was Murillo who had picked up a knock in the week in the Europa League. For some reason, they got the flags the wrong way round, and Murillo actually missed out on this one. It doesn't look like he's going to be out for too long, though. From the Brighton side of things, a massive 19-pointer for Max de Kuiper. I believe his name is Max. Few of us owned him at the start of the season. That attacking wing-back that we thought he was going to be like he is for Belgium. Big 19-pointer for him. So that if any of you did bring him in, leave a comment down below. Of course, all the graphics in today's video are from not only fpl.co.uk, not a sponsored segment, but a really good website for all things data related for Fantasy Premier League, Sun Dream Team, and all fantasy related games, sports wise, football wise. That is, you've got Telegraph, you've got all sorts on there. Go check it out. For Nottingham Forest, Matt Sells just a 2-pointer, Morato a 4-pointer, Nico Williams, despite his tackling heroics like normal, just picking up a 3-pointer. 5 tackles in this game for him, but that late goal conceded did knock him down. Savona, no attacking returns in this one, just a 2-pointer. Milenkovic, a 1-pointer as well. So across the back line, nothing too much to note. Dominguez taken off at half-time with Ndoye, 2-pointer and 1-pointer for them respectively. Sangari picked up a goal a few weeks back away to Leeds, I believe it was, or at home to Leeds actually. Just a 1-pointer. Sorry, 5-pointer for him, a bonus point. Elliot Anderson, 8 points, 20 on the PPM, max bonus points. He had max bonus points and 5 extra to spare that he could have shared around the team. That's ridiculous. 20 is something that we don't see very often at all. 5 bonus points. He even got himself a tackle point in there for good measure. I think he's a good option going forward. If you've already used your goal boost, is going to offer a lot of reliability. Whether he plays in the Europa League games, I'm not too sure. It sounds like they are nursing his minutes when it comes to the European fixtures. Gibbs White, it was taken off in this one after 85 minutes with a slight knock. Sean Dyche has come out afterwards and said it doesn't look too big, but going into this game, he was a massive doubt. He's picked up yet another injury, so I'd be steering clear in case we get some more definitive news on him. And then Igor Jesus with a 4-pointer. So a bad day at the office for Forest off the back of a really good victory midweek against Malmo in the Europa League. I think defensive-wise, they're still picking up points. Attacking-wise, Gibbs White, if he's out, is not really an option. And of course, with Chris Wood still to come back whenever that is, Igor Jesus ticking over fairly well. It's just really Elliot Anderson and the back line that I'd go for if you do want a Forest asset that is going forward for the foreseeable future. West Ham United 0, Liverpool 2. Alexander Isak getting off the mark in the Premier League with a very well taken goal. 10-man West Ham, we'll get to him in just a little while. I've got a few thoughts on this player in question. Liverpool, we'll go on to their players. Of course, they are the ones in Europe. Getting a clean sheet. Virgil van Dijk, his price has plummeted over, I think it's the last 3 game weeks or so. He's lost about between 0.5 and $1 million in value. Picked up an 8-pointer, picked up a bonus point. It was a little bit of a throwback to last season in this one. I don't think Liverpool were too amazing, but I think West Ham were really poor, and Liverpool showed glimpses of what they, of course, have to offer. Alisson, 8 points for him, 5 ppm, so a bonus point. Joe Gomez started at right back and did offer a lot more solidity than sticking someone like a Szoboszlai in there. Not really feeling the game, but Joe Gomez, of course, he knows that position well. Got himself a late assist for the Cody Gakpo goal and the clean sheet and a bonus point. But would I rely upon him playing more than 1 game every 4 months? Absolutely not. I think he even had to have an injection to play in this game. Konate, 7-pointer. Kirkez with an 8-pointer. And, as I said, Van Dijk with his own 8 points. In midfield, a bit of disappointment across the board. Szoboszlai would have been brought in for a big price rise. I did want him this week, but I carried a transfer. Only scored 3 points in the first half of Game Week 13. Of course, they do still have a home fixture, I believe it is, against Sunderland still to come. Gavin Birch, bonus point and 2 points for turning up. Florian Wirtz, probably one of his better performances in a Liverpool shirt. No goals or assists, got a shot on target, got a bonus point and played really quite well out on that right-hand side. McAllister, 5 points for him. Cody Gakpo, a goal and an assist, has outscored many of the Liverpool attacking assets this season. He just seems like he's favoured by Arne Slot on that left-hand side, to some Liverpool fans' dismay at times. But when I watch him, he gets those returns, and the late goal, it once again brings him into our thoughts. And as I said, Isak did get off the mark, but taken off after 68 minutes. Now, the big thing to note from this game, as a Mohamed Salah owner, didn't play at all, didn't even come on, and the time is ticking for him. Lots of talk, lots of conversation about, are Liverpool a better team without him? I don't think so. Of course, they do play a lot more differently. There's a lot less space in behind the wing areas when he doesn't play. But I think he's going to play in the week. At least I hope he does, at home to Sunderland. If he doesn't play that game, he has to leave my team. You can't be spending that amount of money on a player that's not even getting any minutes off the bench. I was watching this game thinking he's going to come on, he's going to come on. He didn't come on. All three substitution windows were used. And for those of you who did bring him in this week with a goal boost, I think it's the first time since 2024 he's been on the bench in a Premier League game. So consider yourself very unlucky. I didn't substitute him out, but we'll get on my team in a little while. So Liverpool, clean sheet, Gakpo and Isak getting on the score sheet. And the final fixture so far in Game Week 13, of course, we do still have the second part of this doubleheader, this Premier League doubleheader that is. Chelsea won, Arsenal won in a very physical, very booking-related bout. At one moment, I did think the ref worked for Clinton's. Just ridiculous game. As you can see by the graphic on the screen, Arsenal picked up 6 bookings, Chelsea got a booking and a sending off. We'll start with Chelsea in this one because, in my opinion, they were the better team throughout. Arsenal didn't have the solidity at the back that we've had throughout the campaign so far. Been to Newcastle's ground, been to Manchester United's ground, been to Liverpool's ground, been to lots of difficult away ones. The Stadium of Light, Sunderland, of course. But Chelsea, they were very physical, and Arsenal without a centre-back pairing, the reliable Gabriel and Saliba, and Odegaard in midfield leading the press, and without a centre-forward, Chelsea really did bring the physicality to Arsenal. Picked up a goal in this one after being reduced to 10 men. Caicedo, in my opinion, definite sending off. Straight legged, above the ankle bone. Could have caused Moreno some serious damage in this one. Chalobah, a player that's been in a few of our teams throughout the season, took his goal really well. Flick at the near post, doing the Arsenal's defence from a set piece that was. So Set Piece FC wasn't in red this week, they were in blue. Cucurella, 1 pointer for him. Gusto, 4 points. Chalobah with a 9 pointer. Sanchez dealt with Arsenal's crosses really well, caught them out of the sky. Just put the fire extinguisher on any potential damage from crosses. That was bar 1 that we get to. Neto, 2 points. Esteval was taken off at half time. I'm not sure if that was minutes managed or because of the red card. João Pedro off after 55 minutes. That was definitely for Liam Delap's physicality up front. Both the Arsenal centre halves on a booking could have potentially got them a red card. On to Arsenal. Disappointing day at the office. Their worst performance of the season by far. That's draws in back-to-back away games sandwiched in between the North London derby, that was. But missing Gabriel and missing Saliba at the back, it showed massively. The physicality, the presence, the on-the-ball nature, the solidity that it brings to the team. They didn't have it at all. Hincapié and Mosquera. I think the early booking for Zubamendi really rocked him as well. Didn't really know what to do after that. And especially with, I think it was 4 out the defensive 5, so the holding midfielder and the back 4 were all on bookings at one stage. Calafiori had to be taken off at half time for that exact reason. Skelly came on and then Skelly got booked within 9 minutes. So that substitution was pretty much pointless after 10 minutes. The fact that Arsenal didn't get a player sent off in this game with the ref being so card happy, I was very surprised. I thought he was going to even the numbers up at every given opportunity. Raya with a 3 pointer, Mosquera with a 2, Timber with a 4, Hincapié with a 2, and Calafiori with a 1. Saliba's injury doesn't look too bad and could potentially be back for the Brentford game in midweek, but we're still going to have to hear from Mikel Arteta on that one. I think his press conference is on Tuesday. Eze, disappointing return for him, 2 points. He didn't really get into the game at all. Zubamendi, 0 pointer. Declan Rice, in my opinion, was Arsenal's best player throughout this game. Showed a lot of what he showed throughout the season, a lot of tenacity in midfield, a lot of decent play on the ball, really pushing the team up the pitch when needed, which a lot of players didn't in this fixture, but only 3 points for him. He was going to be the player that I substituted in for Mo Salah after he was a no-show in the 2 o'clock kickoffs. So currently I'm happy with my decision not to have done that. Saka, bonus point, got the assist, fantastic cross over to Mikel Moreno, who once again has an attacking return. But with Gyökeres coming on, Jesus on the bench, Odegaard coming on as well, I do feel like Moreno's time as, I say centre forward, but he played the majority of this game as a sort of midfield, false nine position kind of thing. Didn't work out at all. Arsenal missed the focal point, but he took the goal really well. Skelly with a 0-pointer, Odegaard 1 point off the bench. Hopefully his price dips a little bit because when he's back up to full fitness, we know he's going to play every game pretty much because that's what he does. If his price does continue to dip and he goes under 4 million, I do think he could be a really good asset. Madueke came on the left-hand side, didn't really offer much at all, looked very much out of position. Swap wings with Saka at one stage, didn't work through either, and they switched it back. So, point apiece. As an Arsenal fan, I'll take that away to Stamford Bridge, especially after beating Bayern Munich and Tottenham in the space of 7 days. Disappointing not to beat 10 men, but Chelsea, compared to when they went down to 10 men away to Man United at Old Trafford, where they went to 5 at the back, they took the pacey wingers off. They really showed fight in this one. And Reece James for them, the 9-pointer. Moises Caicedo -2 points. He's going to be missing the next 3 games, so very disappointed for them. Enzo Fernandez 5-pointer for him for 2 tackle points. But for me, Reece James really played well in that midfield. Problem for him is Enzo Maresca's already come out and went, he's not going to play in the week. I think they've got Leeds away. He's not going to play that fixture. He just can't. His physicality, his fitness-wise, he can't do it, unfortunately. So a point apiece at Stamford Bridge. For Arsenal, take it and move on. For Chelsea, you look really good in this game. On to my team so far in game week 13. And quite frankly, it's been a tough one to just digest, really. These are the weeks, of course, many weeks so far this season, it's gone quite well for me. This one, so far, not at all. 37 points. Of course, the rank was going to be affected heavily because I haven't played my goal bonus. It was touch and go, but it was a toss-up between game week 13 and game week 17 for me, both Premier League doubles. And I felt like the turnaround for this game week was a little bit tight. I only made one transfer this week, and that was Mateta out, and I brought in Morgan Rogers. So currently, I am 6 points down on that transfer. I left in Ismail Assar and, of course, took out Mateta. So for my team currently, I only have 9 players available for the second fixture in game week 13, which is a real shame. I went into the week with Munoz and Williams both on 4 bookings. I was very worried about them getting banned for the second game. Thankfully, they made it through. But elsewhere, I've lost players, and not having 11 going into that second half of the double, with people having Mateta and a goal bonus active, it's a big worry. I think I'm about 450th, 550th in the world. I think closer to 550 actually. So a big rank decrease from just touching that 200 mark. Henderson with a 4-pointer, Lacroix with a 2, Munoz with a 2, Williams with a 3, Conte with a 9, Ismail Assar with just the 1, taken off early with that injury. I'll get to the next bloke in a minute. Saka with an 8-pointer, Rogers with a 3, Salah a complete no-show, and Erling Haaland with just a 3-pointer with the captaincy on him, which was probably the only positive this week so far for me. As someone who didn't play the goal bonus, of course, many other people scored this week. You had Igor Thiago of Brentford, many would have brought in to get that goal bonus activated and extra points. He scored twice, of course. Other players like Phil Foden bagged a brace in his game. So that goal bonus was ticking along nicely. Gavardiol, another prime suspect of that as well. I said as well way too many times there. On to midfield. I think that's why I said as well too many times because I was waiting to get to this guy. Lucas Paquetá, what a prat. What an absolute idiot. I didn't actually see him get booked. I looked away. I was watching the game. He just went on and on and on and on. You had Alisson trying to pull him away, an opposition goalkeeper from the same nation trying to pull him away and save him from a red card. If you watch it back carefully, Alisson trying to pull him away and Van Dijk very cleverly just steps aside and lets Paquetá go to the ref and continue his rant, and he gets sent off. What an absolute moron. And the rage that sent through my body watching him get sent off. I'd left him in my team. He picked up his 5 bookings, so I substituted him out the following game week in game week 12 to have him for this game week. And he gets sent off after 2 bookings. He was in no danger of a 5th booking suspension because he'd already had it. And he gets sent off. Honestly, just there was severe rage coursing through my body watching him walk down the tunnel. I couldn't believe it. He'd been pulled away 6 times and still got himself sent off. So he is missing for the second part of Game Week 13. And it might come as no surprise to any of you watching this. For Game Week 14, he is out of my team. I'd rather play with 10 men because it's exactly the same as having Paquetá. So Ismail Assar is going to be missing. Paquetá is missing. Hopefully Salah plays in that Sunderland at home game. But only 37 points. I'm down loads of points. Of course, Mateta got to retake his penalty despite having that double touch. It is what it is on that front. So the 50-50 decision between Salah leaving my team and Mateta leaving my team has gone really badly. Leaving Paquetá or the Prat, whatever you want to call him, in my team has gone really poorly. I think for this one, it's just pure damage limitation. I've still got all my big chips still to use. Take it from Game Week 15 onwards. Hopefully the damage isn't too bad. It's really weird and not very nice watching your captain kind of hoping he doesn't score, but also kind of hoping he scores. But I didn't realise how many people towards the top half of the leaderboards really did activate that goal bonus this week. For those of you who did, and it is doing well, congratulations to you. But I know for a certain, if I activated mine this week, I would currently have a grand total of 0 extra points. The only returns I got in my team, a Saka assist and a concert clean sheet. So currently, it's been a poor week. To round off today's video, instead of my moaning, we're going to look at some of the people who are doing really well this week so far. Of course, this is my Sun Dream Team League, completely free to join. If you are in the top 10 for both point scoring and overall score in the mid-game weeks, normally when I do these videos, you will appear in an episode in the future. Now, the top 10 point scorers this week are as follows. The Maestro, I think that's HA. My eyesight towards the back in the day, not too great, as we know during these segments. 108 points. Dream Team Final Boss, 104 points. I'm going to blur the next one. Probably. Actually, what the hell? Bumbag Over the Shoulder, 103 points. Thought that said something else then. As I said, my eyesight is completely shocking. Gazi United, 97 points. United, 97 points. Of course, Angry Ginge currently in the jungle as we speak. Champions again, Ole, 97 points. The Dream Team King, Nathan Wisby. I know you from the Dream Team Tonic lads. 97 points for this week, so really well done for him. Kippy 1, 94 points. Indeedy, We Will Win FC, 94 points. And I'm going to call you Wanders because I have no idea what those first two words say. So 93 points for them in the top 10. That's an incredible week. Towards the top, you've got 3 times nearly as much points as me, so fair play. Leave a comment down below if any of you 10 are watching this video and if you have activated the goal bonus, goal bonus or boost or not. To round out the video, I am covering the top 10 leaderboard overall for my Dream Team leagues. Lots of usual suspects up here, of course. Number 1 in first position, Bratsworth FC, 56 points, 1,489 points, 1,489 points overall. C. Hyatt. Bring back Big Ange, Jay Milligan, 76 points for the week, 1,454. The Dream Team King, Nathan Wisby. Incredible season so far. Racing up those leaderboards. That 96 point first half of the Game Week 13 has rocketed you up there. Crimea River Plate, I think that's C. Pierce. Sorry if that's not C. It's either a C, an R, or T. 70 points for the week, 1,447 for the season. Can't get any verts. J. Jones, 83 points for the week. Kelleher, what does that say? Kelleher's, I have no idea what that says. D. Coin, 80 points, 1441. Rock and Roll Star, J. Dean, 60 points, 1440 for the season. AFC Lambretta, I. Lambert, 59 points, 1,436 overall. The Honey Badgers, M. Lindsay, 69 points, 1,430 points overall. And Stranger Mings, G. Richards, 86 points for the week, so a really good game week for them, 1,427. I've gone from 8th to about 40th in my own league. So for those of you in the top 10, massive congratulations. Hopefully, for the second part of Game Week 13, that kind of form can continue. That does indeed conclude today's video, my Game Week 13 recap so far. A little early thoughts with regards to my team and potential transfers out, mainly than transfers in ahead of Game Week 14. Little spoiler, Paquetá will not be in my team for Game Week 14. Absolutely not. Leave a comment down below on if you've activated the goal bonus and how your week is doing, regardless of if you've activated goal bonuses. What kind of points have you put on the board, and what kind of points are you hoping for towards the end of Game Week 13 and going forward, of course? Down below in the description are my socials. We've hit 500 followers on X, so thank you very much for that. We've also got Instagram and TikTok down below. Don't forget to hit a thumbs up on today's video if you've enjoyed. 100 is the target. It does push out the channel to lots of other people and really helps me grow. Closing in on 1,400 subscribers on the channel. 1,500 is the big target. Can we make a push towards it? Hit that subscribe button down below and hit the bell notification so you don't miss an upload in your sub boxes. Now that does complete today's video, and you'll be seeing me in a new one very soon.